Yeah, you were on the headset.
Okay. Well, anyways, CPS.
No, hold on just a minute. Hold on just a minute, because I've asked listeners that when people call in on cordlesses or headsets, no one can hear you. It's almost pointless. People need to call in from the handheld at least, because now when you hear the rebroadcast, you're going to be able to hear that what you're having to say is actually being heard now.
Okay. All right. Well, anyways, I was saying on the CPS thing, my 3 kids were yanked from me. They used the excuse that I worked too much. I was working 70 to 90 hours a week. Running my own business, had full-time in-home daycare.
Oh, yeah, no. Criticizing the government, working too much, yelling at your kids. There's no law. They still come and take them because they're a eugenics court set up 100 years ago in this country outside of law.
Yeah, I understand, and what I wanted to offer up to you and your listeners is the way they played me was they said I worked too much. That bothered them. They took the kids. They wanted me to do all kinds of counseling and stuff. I done everything they offered. And was
that's
totally
a hidden tax. That's a hidden tax. They make you pay to go to their $300, $400 an hour psychologist that they recommend, who then lie about you, and it's all a big setup.
Yep, and what they did was they put them with the mother who left for 5 years and wanted nothing to do with them, and actually had tried to kill the kids previously. And I kind of seen through what they were doing because my own attorney was bought off and threw me under the bus. And what they were doing was trying to take the kids from me and prove me as an unfit parent, meanwhile putting them just temporarily with their poor mother, because they knew that in the long run, once they proved me unfit with the ex-mother and everybody helping them, they could easily take them from her and sell them into the sex
that's
trade.
how the setup works. They out of the gates in a divorce or anything tell the woman to do this. She doesn't understand. The father doesn't understand, and it's all a progression and a setup. So how did you beat these criminals?
Well, I had to give up hope on my kids. The last 2 court dates that we went to, I didn't show up for because every time I went to a court date, things got worse. They pushed me further away from my kids and further away. I got less visitation. They would.
So what happened? What ended up happening, sir? We got to go here.
Well, the kids are still with their mother, the mother that tried to poison them and had nothing to do with them for all their life. And I get absolutely no visitation, no communication.
Well, Pete, that really doesn't help us, but I appreciate it. I mean, you're saying the information may help people. I mean, I guess it helps people to know to not communicate with them. But they get involved in your family in the middle, and this is how they do it. And then real abuse is ignored. You know, the cops can taser a little kid, schools can beat them, drug them, lock them up, whatever they want. But if parents yell at their kids, they're supposedly evil. Pete, I'm sorry to hear that happened to you. But it's a deranged society, and it's only going to get worse. Jeff in Texas, you're on the air.
Hi, Alex. A bit of a police state grid update. I was sent this video on interesting sea creatures, and I watched it all the way through. And after it, this IBM infomercial came on about how they're putting in the mileage tax in Stockholm, Sweden.
And how great it is here in America and how we've got to have it.
Yeah, and how it makes the traffic better. And
meanwhile, I was on a talk radio show a few weeks ago, and they told me I was a conspiracy theorist as all the states and the federal government announce that they're going to have mileage taxes. I told people this a decade ago. It doesn't exist. Even when the mileage tax system is in your car, people will say it doesn't exist because it's a mind trick of slaves to just deny everything.
If you YouTube search IBM traffic in Stockholm, anybody can find it. And I wonder,
it's powerful. We played it about a month ago here.
I wonder if you observed over the last few years any of the unmarked white vans in Austin that set up along Mopac with the little white camera boxes on tripods. Did you ever see those?
There's all sorts of alphabet soup out there categorizing the sheep slaves, tracking their cattle, tracking their property. And they've got all sorts of surveillance pods listening to everybody's cell phones, intercepting everything. And it's just total criminality using our money to enslave us while the illegal aliens are above the law. Jeff, I appreciate your call. Tim in Brazil, thanks for holding her on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing? I was just calling in about the CPS thing you're talking about.
Yes. But we're not supposed to worry about DynCorp and the CPS openly running child kidnapping everywhere. We're supposed to obsess on the Catholic Church, which is guilty and is doing bad. But see, the very pedophile ring government media can make itself look good by pointing the finger at the Catholic Church.
Yeah, but why don't they point the finger at PNAC?
PNAC?
Yeah, the Project for the New American Century.
Absolutely. Dick Cheney saying we need to stage terror attacks.
Exactly. I mean, you know, in the 1950s, you have Irving Kristol, the founder of neoconservatism.
Who was the head Trotskyite, the head communist in our hemisphere.
And then he installed it into Bush. He installed it into his son, William Kristol.
And all the Rush Limbaugh conservatives just bow down and worship Kristol. We love commies. We love commies. We love value-added taxes. We love everything. Oh, Sarah Palin believes in global warming. We love you. Alex Jones is bad, though. He's a liberal. Sorry, go ahead.
The main guys in the PNAC movement or the PNAC project, Cheney, Wolfowitz, and Rumsfeld, they're the well-known ones. But what I want to know is what happened to Richard Perrill. Nobody talks about him.
Oh, known at the Pentagon as the Prince of Darkness?
Yes.
Because he goes up to people at cocktail parties and has a come-on for women that, you know how many people I've killed, how much power I have.
I think PNAC has a very, very strong tie to this CPS conspiracy of, the child pornography rings and
PNAC? I mean, PNAC, I appreciate your call. The whole government does, but at the highest levels. But PNAC is a white paper by top neoconservatives to launch wars. I don't see how that, I mean, when they run these wars, they do that because it's happy hunting ground for them. But thank you, Tim. Let's talk to Dave in Arizona. Dave, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, it's a pleasure to speak to you.
Good to talk to you.
I have some notes here I was going through. First of all, what I heard yesterday about those children in Iraq really basically destroyed me. I went into basic training in 1979. I went into flight school in 1986 and became a warrant officer. And I got out of the Army in 93 because I saw what was happening just based on prophecy. And I believe in God. I believe God created this earth basically 6,000 years ago. I believe in Christ. And the only thing I can do right now is pray, Alex. And I just want to offer a prayer with you and I, because whatever two or more bind together, it will be bound in heaven.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You can offer the prayer, and we're pleased to have that here. But specifically, though, people say, well, this is just war. Yeah, this is these aggressive wars that are like video games. We're going to compare the chopper footage to a video game that people are being conditioned with coming up in the next hour, some video and audio of that to educate people. But this is the dehumanization. This is what they see as normal now when it totally violates the rules of war and dehumanizes our soldiers. And then they say, well, support the troops. You've got to never criticize what's happening. I'm a citizen. I have a right to criticize these illegal wars based on fraudulent WMDs. I know it's not manly and cool to be into mass murder and death and darkness. And I know the troops are being used up. I mean, in Vietnam, maybe 2 tours, World War II, 1 tour. And most of those guys had mental problems, 4, 5, 6, some doing 7 tours now. They know they're destroying the troops mentally. That's what they want to do. So abusing troops is now patriotism. Illegal wars is now patriot. No, it's not. It's a fraud. And you got these people that put themselves up on a high horse on a mental power trip like they're the moral people and anyone against their criminal wars is bad. They just set the parameters in their own mind. No, they are engaged in delusions and evil. Go ahead.
Well, the one thing I can think about, Alex, is that we're going to see troubles that the earth has never seen before in its history, and that the only reason that it's going to stop is because Christ is going to come back and stop it. Otherwise, we would destroy the whole planet.
Let me ask you this. Do you believe it's our job to stand up against evil, though, or not just wait for Jesus?
Oh, absolutely, Alex. And you know what? The only way I can stand up against evil is to bind myself with the powers of heaven. The angels that are watching everything that is going on, and believe me, Alex, they're ready to come back to this earth with.
But when you bind yourself with the powers of heaven, do you then feel an uncontrollable urge to face down corruption?
I absolutely do, Alex, and really, Alex, I witnessed crimes yesterday. I swore to uphold the Constitution, and I witnessed crimes yesterday. I had to plug my ears, Alex. I could not watch the video.
Well, we have Tony Schaefer coming on next week, Black Ops Colonel, and he's saying it violated all the rules and looks like it's illegal as well.
Alex, who do I report the crimes to? The only people I can report the crimes to right now I know of are you. You've